Hey, can y'all hear me good? Hello, and welcome to the All Around Natural Beauty channel. One moment while I get set up here. Drop that one in the chat if I'm coming through loud and clear. That one in the chat if I'm. There we go. I hear me. Hey, we got the people in here already. All right. Queen BG, greetings, all Natural Beauty RN. Thank you, greetings, and welcome to the All Around Natural Beauty Live channel here, where we're talking about all kind of beautiful things. All right, perfect. M Mac, hey, welcome. Late night salute, and AANBRN. All around Natural Beauty. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. Give me a little initials there. All right. I had figured that one out on my own. I didn't need no help for that. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and welcome to the All Around Natural Beauty channel, where we've been talking for the last week now about this Shanquella Robinson situation. And we've also talked about femicide, a lot of things that, that's heavy on the heart of a lot of us, right? Like we all have been affected by this situation, and it's been triggering. And we have started to build a community here, and I'm super proud of the community that we're building here and how we're continuing to bring more light to this situation. Every time I feel like, okay, I'm done there, we're done there, something more comes up, and people are just feeling this. All right. Nancy Grace is not one to play with. Okay. VVX2. Yeah, like I just found that out today. I actually the video that we're going to go through, that's why I'm doing this, because this lady, Queen Esquire Squad, did a reaction and I was included in it or some kind of way from the video I had did like on a panel for the lead attorney's show, and I don't know. So anyway, we're going to watch this together. I skimmed over there and I saw it, and I know Nancy Grace, and what part that I did hear, it sounded like she was explaining the same thing, saw the same thing I saw or something like that. I'm just super moved, and I'm just humbled with this whole situation and grateful, being a woman, and, now this time that we're having a voice. And so, like I said here, we don't do moments of silence. We do moments of speaking, where we're calling out the names of the victims. We're calling out the names of the abusers. No more secrets. We are speaking. No more moments of silence. We're speaking, giving a voice to victims so we can become survivors. Because we can't help the fact that we were victims. You can't do nothing about that. If someone victimized you, it was not your fault. Right? So we accept that. I accept that I was victimized, but I'm a survivor. And that's what we're talking about here, becoming survivors. And that's our passion here. And we are moving towards a place of healing. And I'm just super excited to be a part of this. All right. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm 51 years old. I'll be 52 on December the 15th. And I'm just super excited about, birthday coming up. And I've been in nursing I have over 30 years of nursing experience. It's the only thing I've done in my adult life, as far as work. I've worked in many different areas in nursing. I spent a lot of years working with spinal cord injury patients, quadriplegic patients that required to be on a ventilator for the rest of their lives because they had a C5 or higher injury, and made them paralyzed from the neck down. Some of them were paralyzed from the face down, you know, depending on, like I said, where it was. The higher ones up were face downs, and those people, you know, did have no control over the head. So the head flop around like a rag doll. And anyway, so I have those years in the experience with that, and also in ICU, trauma, things like that. So I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot, and I've experienced a lot, and I have a lot to say. I'm just excited that we are in this space. So I want to get started. And the first thing I want to do is I want to read the comment that actually led me to this. You know, for, like I said, for those of y'all who know, I'm older, so a lot of this stuff is new for me because, you know, I don't watch TV. And anyway, so I'm just excited that I feel like I'm being led to these things. Like I had no clue that people heard me when I was on the lead attorney show and what I was talking about, you know, what I saw as far as the injury, you know, and agreeing with what was on the death report, death certificate, and all that stuff. So let me find that comment. And there was a subscriber. I want to see if it was Queen Bee. Let me see. Let me just go over here and peek and find that. And she gave me the heads up on the video, that the first video that we're going to see. And Nancy Grace, you know, is a familiar person everybody know. And I know that the last few days we had concerns about the information that we were getting, because everyone had concerns that this reporter was from Mexico, and people wanted to have, Americans wanted to have an American, somebody giving us news on it and stuff like that. So I believe that Nancy Grace really is providing us with, I should have added her on this here thing. Let me edit this here too real quick. I just put this together at the last minute, and I do need to add Nancy Grace. We're going to be showing her video. I mean, parts of it, of the video that she did and gave a really recent update. And I believe that's going to be something important that we all wanted to see. Because I know, like I said, a few days ago, I'm not sure which day it was, but the chat was concerned about if, what was really going on and where the information was coming from. All right, let's see. I don't see. Oh, is that it? I believe that's it. No, that's not it. Oops. Okay, let me try this one more time. And I'm just excited, y'all. Y'all just don't know how pivotal this is. This is really pivotal that people actually seeing it. And if I don't do it right, y'all just charge it to my heart. I tried my best. Anyway, I'll probably have to do that at a later time. Okay, it's not working out for me. It's not working out for me. So I'm going to go ahead and find that comment that started this whole thing, and then we'll get started with the video. But thank y'all for coming in here, and please hit the like button on your way in, and we can go from there. Let me see if I need to make my moderator up in here. Wait, this is the one. I found the video. Okay, so I'm going to share this in just a moment. I need to get my screen up here. And like y'all know, we take our time with this because, yes, we take our time with this. And Queen Bee, have I made you the moderator? No, I have not. All right, thank you so much, Queen Bee. You are the moderator for, yeah, you got a bench there. Okay, cool. We got our people set up, and here is the first share that I'm going to do here. And I'd like to thank all my new subscribers too. Thank y'all, the new subscribers, and all the love y'all been showing me. I appreciate the love and the support. It's been tremendous. All right, so I received this comment. It was one day ago on this video that a live I did. I do lives over here, y'all. So for those of y'all that's wanting to have something like real quick, a quickie, I do long stroking over here. So quickies, you may want to go to see those videos on demand. But over here, y'all can see, y'all look back and see that all these videos are hours long. So information is in it. So yeah, you guys got to be patient and listen, or find your information if you want it quick. And some of the videos that I even go over, it just be sometimes small. But anyway, this video was entitled Justice for Shanquella Robinson, and I added Tissa Tales, and then versus the lead attorney. And the two of these YouTubers both had interviewed this gentleman here, Geraldo Zuinga, the Mexican reporter. And so we looked at both of their videos and analyzed them as a group. And so we went over. And this person here, Queen Bees 65, had left a comment and said, "Hi, please check out Queen Esquire's squad is doing a 10 things we should know about Alyssa Hyatt beauty family. It's very interesting, and it makes you wonder, was it Nazir or her sister she was FaceTiming or videoing the fight? Her background shows she is a CNA as well, so she too had some medical training with Dejanay." And she encourages one video. And then we got good comments and people verifying her here. And then she also said here, oh, okay, my Sagittarian sister, always, we are in this together. All right, so cool. Anyway, so that's where this seed came from that I got here. And so we're going to go for that in just a moment. But I wanted to share that comment there and give Queen Bee a shout out, and also a thank you too for that. It was very, very pivotal, because it keeps this whole energy going to where it's been very therapeutic for a lot of us, where we've been able to come here. We're giving out roses and love and all that good stuff. So here we go with the first video that we're going to go over, which is the title of this here live. No, that's not it. Y'all quiet tonight on me. How y'all doing out there? I see we got 16 people in the chat. How y'all feeling? It's been pretty solemn, huh? While I find this. Okay, I'm looking. All right, I think I got it here. Nope, this is not it either. So, one moment, I'm pulling it up, y'all. This is it here. Okay, here we go. Let me pull it back some here. This is Queen Esquire Squad, and this video came out one day ago. All right, with the comment. All right, good. Thank you, M Mac. Okay, great. I'm good. How are you? I'm good too. I'm excited about this, how everything's going, y'all. This is good. And thank y'all so much for supporting me. And Mac, you know, I feel good every time I see you come back here. I appreciate that. And Queen BG too, you know, you coming back. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, so here we go. Take this off
so
there.
proud. She goes on.
Wait a minute, we gotta move back some.
Because she has nothing more but to sit and think about the tragedy.
Right.
Because, we're sitting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for justice. So
How that
to
sound,
me,
y'all?
it's only logical for her to sit and think, and things come back to her memory. So let's dissect this. So if you're not into dissecting things and talking about things, it's not the live for you. We're going to take our time and work through the interview
Thank
and
you.
kind of dissect and analyze different pieces of the interview.
A woman after
All
my
right,
own
let's
heart.
get to it, guys. I'm excited to do this analysis with you guys, but at the same time, very sad about this tragedy. So
Yeah.
heartbroken. But let's get started.
Worry, the money, the everything you pour into them to help them advance just one more step in life. I just want you to imagine this. I can hardly even say this with my daughter in my mind. You get your beautiful, wonderful girl through high school. She's fabulous. You get her to college. She's on the verge of graduating. So proud. She goes on a little girls' getaway, girls' weekend. Then you get a call that she's dead. Just let that soak in just for a moment. You get a call, your baby is dead. Because that is what happened to Miss Robinson, Miss Salamondra Robinson. Her beautiful girl, the world in front of her, on the verge of graduating Winston-Salem State in business, goes away for a girl's getaway. And now she's dead. Not at the hands of some masked intruder, not a drive-by shooting, on a girl's getaway with her friends. How can she be dead in a hotel room? I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Fox Nation and Sirius XM 111 with me, an all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now. But I want you to hear her mother, who is with us right now, as she was speaking to CBS.
I received a call on Saturday saying that my daughter was sick and that she had alcohol poison. But a doctor had never arrived, so I don't know where they had got the alcohol poison from. So at that time, they said a doctor was on the way to examine her, and she wasn't responding as they told me. Said she was resting a little bit, but she wasn't all the way responding as normal. I told them to keep me informed, and I wanted to know why they couldn't take it to the emergency room. They said because they needed $5,000 cash to be seen in the emergency room. And I said, well, she has insurance. And they said they didn't take insurance by being out the country.
I mean, this girl actually worked in the insurance field. Everything that I just heard is a lie. Everything that this mother was told about the death of her baby girl is a lie.
Whoa, that right there, guys. That right there was a bombshell. Nancy Grace, that's why I knew she was going to break this down.
Wow. So I was just excited because, like I said, last few days everybody was concerned about this Geraldo person. So it's just good to see that, I've heard of Nancy Grace for I remember, I know her, like, and I'm sure everybody knows her. So for me, this feels really more credible, like something's really gonna get done, or at least it's being, more mainstream, because I feel like up until uh, now, after we saw it break on like one of those ABC news, everything else was like kind of social media news, right? So I don't know how y'all feeling about that. I feel pretty good about it coming from Nancy Grace. So I'm grateful for that. Let's see here. Y'all start talking some stuff here. All right. We're saying hello to everybody in the chat. Thank you, Ty Lieber. Oh, you're a lifesaver. Thank you so much. You came right in the nick of time. Because yeah, thank you so much. And M Max says have to pay to go to emergency room. Queen Bee says all around natural beauty. Thank you so much. You are very welcome. Thank y'all so much. Yes, thank y'all so much. How y'all feeling about Nancy Grace being part of it? It's almost like a prayer was answered. You know, a prayer was answered. We got somebody, you know, from the mainstream, not Geraldo, and she's talking to us in English, right? And like I said, but still we want to practice on our Spanish. But let's get back to this story here. And I'm so grateful to Queen Esquire Squad for doing this research and getting this all done. She also left the link to this actual Nancy's part here, but I really wanted to, she did a lot more research. I wanted to, you know, just kind of piggyback off of her stuff here. And then too, I had skimmed down here and I saw me there. So I was like, oh, okay. So then I could at least explain my part there. Cause anyway, get from horse's mouth. Here we
Could
go.
already identify that the first lie that they said was that it was going to cost $5,000 to get this young lady to the hospital. Nancy Grace gave her experience, and they already identified it as a lie. Right there. That is just like, and we already identified this in other videos that we thought it was a lie. But to hear from Nancy Grace, who has experience, has already identified, you know, her background and experience in this particular, like the medical aspect of it.
Yeah.
And just already pinpoint the lie right there. It's just like, wow, it just reinforces what we were thinking from the get-go. Like those that have been on this case, analyzing it with me, that these friends was trying to get money from the mother, knowing good and well they didn't need it. I wonder what the $5,000 is for. That's the question we have. What is the $5,000 for? It's like, were they trying to get $5,000 from the mother to use to pay the sketchy,
that's
shady,
how I was feeling.
Unethical law enforcement and doctor.
By their alibi.
Shady. That first part, that was a bombshell. I had to stop it right there, y'all, because that right there. Fran Bree Love says she thinks it's a bribe to bribe the doctor. Good point, because it's like, even what the doctor said didn't make sense.
Right. We saw that too.
There's all these allegations.
Let's see.
Maybe
here.
after this Nancy Grace one, we'll go and play that clip, because I thought that was pretty monumental as she was describing. So
I can read my own people's chat up in here, so while we letting her talk a little bit there. Hey, Auntie Mo. All right, I love my return people. Thank you so much for coming back. It's nice to hear, to speak up. It's nice for her to speak up because she is mainstream, but she still only has the same info we have heard. And the experts on her panel can only speculate and give opinions, which is what we're doing, right? So I'm curious to hear what they got to say. See, Ty Lieber says, good evening at All Around Natural Beauty. And yes, welcome. That's right. The kid is back too. All right. Hey. Yes. Thank y'all so much for coming back. I appreciate y'all so much. All right. So cool. At least we are all in agreement that it's a good thing that Nancy Grace is part of it. It's still a win for us. It's a win for us. Let's hear what else she's got to say. I'm excited.
Somebody dying from that type of injury. I was like, whoa, my God. Hi, Kevin Scammell. Your body starts to get hard over when we're done. Right now, let's analyze. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
Something that stood out to me. When she said, basically hogwash to that whole lie that Shanquella was resting. We know that's hogwash. That goes back to Nazir. Remember Nazir was over there lying, talking about she was resting. She wasn't dead yet. She was resting. I was rubbing on her head.
Right. And we knew that was a lie because of the death certificate saying that if you have that spinal cord, that injury, anybody who received that injury to the neck and back, the lifespan after that injury is 15 minutes. And they were being generous with that because most of the time after 5 to 6 minutes without oxygen, you're going to at least be, passed out. So for it, the maximum lifespan would be 15 minutes. So that's why they gave that as a time of death, because a person could only survive for 15 minutes after that if they're not, given, if there's not rescue people there immediately to put you on the ventilator, to get you, airway, get you breathing, right? Okay, so yeah. All right, let's see what else is going on.
You didn't feel that? You didn't feel her temperature change in the hardness of her body? Come on now. It sounded like this man was lying, okay? Now, we can acknowledge that Nancy Grace is just giving an opinion, but still, her analysis is sounding pretty logical to what the maid was saying, because there's statements that the maid was saying, or the service worker was saying the same thing that what Nancy Grace is saying in her analysis. So, guys, this is sounding like Nazir was lying, that they had to have known she was not alive. Come on.
That Shanquella wasn't feeling good. He thinks she had drunk.
Sorry. There we go.
Or up this little scam. I don't know. Y'all tell me what you guys think.
You get a call. And who called you?
Kalia Cook.
Who's that?
That's what been her best friend.
Did you say Saleha Cook?
No, Kalia Cook.
Oh, the man.
Yes,
And he was a friend of hers. He had gone on family vacations. You knew him, right?
yes.
Okay. Were they romantically involved?
No.
Okay. Just a friend. Look, it happens. A lot of people can't believe that can happen. I've had a best friend since law school, a best friend man, study partners the whole way through. So it does happen. So Kalia Cook is her friend, and he calls you, correct?
Yes.
And he says what to you?
That Shanquella wasn't feeling good. He thinks she had drunk too much. She had alcohol poisoning. And I say, what is alcohol poisoning?
Wow.
I didn't even know what alcohol poisoning was.
Okay, with me, someone that can answer that question very well, Dr. Kendall.
Here's my issue with Khalil. First of all,
So right there, usually this is how you can tell when people are lying. They start to give you story, right? So how would they just automatically assume that it's alcohol poisoning, right? So we've all been out with friends before and, somebody had too much to drink, right? If they were feeling, sick or nauseous, who immediately jumps to alcohol poisoning, right? It's almost like they had already made up the story what they were going to say. So they started to paint the picture by giving this story, right? So that way, when we call back in a few minutes or so, or 30 minutes or an hour, or however long we want to wait to say that, we were doing all these things for Shanquella, and then, oh, well, alcohol poisoning is a logical thing. People do die from, I'm not going to say that word. People do get unalived, from alcohol poison. Yeah. So very interesting there. All right. Thank you, Auntie Mo, for the roses. Loving all of this here. Let's see. Roderick Gibson. What time did Kalia Cook call Miss Robinson? That can explain time of death. That's true. Yeah. And too, I don't think that like I said, 15 minutes is pretty fast. So whatever time he did call her, she was already expired. Auntie Mo says if she was just sick like that, they all would have panicked and took her straight to the hospital or called for help. I agree. And that's the horrible part. Like I said, I think that it happened so fast and nobody probably knew what to do. Nobody knew what to do because, when that happened, it's like, oh, because look how fast it was. We saw the video. It's only a few seconds. It's a few seconds and then boom, the injury is there, and yep. Let's see. Max is excellent. In Mexico, all places, he's could have been ill from a multitude of things there. Yep, drinking the water. Now they were saying something about carbon monoxide poisoning that other people had passed during that same time too. Max says exactly. In Mexico, of all, okay, I did that. I thought I saw something else. Auntie Mo says Americans get sick just from the H2O in Mexico. Yeah, that's interesting. So let's see what else is going on here. I'm going to kind of skip a little bit because this here is a long live, and of course I'm not going to play the whole 2 hours. I'm going to try to see, or what I could do is probably maybe I should play Nancy's video. Let me just go on and see here. I want to keep up with her because she's done some research. So I'm going to skip around a little bit, y'all, but it's important that we kind of take a little time to get through this because it's building here, sometimes we got to do a little bit of foundation work here. A little bit of foundation here. Roger Gibson says her last words were no. Yeah. 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 Yeah, that was so horrific and violent to watch. That was horrible. Just horrible. All right, so let's go ahead and we have to go through this, y'all. Let's go and get through it.
Khalil did not protect Shanquella in life. And now he's trying to cover up her death. Like he had no empathy whatsoever.
Yeah.
This man is sick. He was the main one sitting there when she was getting beat to death, watching, looking like a fool.
Yeah. I felt like he set it up. Like he was the one that set it up.
And then when she dies, already dead, he calling trying to make up this story, knowing good and well that woman is not alive.
Yeah, narcissistic
Just
right there.
sick.
Yeah.
Going on family trips, smiling in their face, just fake as ever.
Narcissistic. Dorian Gray.
Crown's chief medical examiner, Fort Worth, lecturer at University of Texas and Texas A&M, faculty, University of Texas Medical Branch. Dr. Crowns, what is alcohol poisoning?
Alcohol poisoning is when you get so much alcohol in your system that it actually is fatal to your body. Alcohol can be toxic to your heart and also your liver. So when you have a really, really high level of alcohol, it can cause basically poisoning of these organ systems. So it's usually seen in someone who has been binge drinking, and the standard alcohol level is legal limit is about 0.08 in most jurisdictions. And once you get into a 0.3, 0.4 area, most people will have so much alcohol on board that it will kill them. And that is a lot of alcohol.
Okay, so, hold on. I'm trying to reconcile what you're saying with what Miss Robinson was told. Take a listen to our friend Victor Canado.
On October 29th, one of the guests staying at the resort called for help around 2 p.m. Upon arriving, medical professionals were informed that Robinson had drunk a lot of alcohol. A doctor reportedly says she was stable but dehydrated, suggesting she may be treated at a hospital. The guests insisting she remain at the villa. A police report stating Robinson went into cardiac arrest and was declared deceased around 6 p.m.
There you go. That's why she didn't go to the hospital. Did you hear that? The guests, her girlfriends, insisted she stay there at the hotel. That's why she wasn't taken to the hospital.
I believe that was already the setup. I don't believe that a real doctor came there. So I don't even believe it was a real nurse because, like I said before, of the verbiage that was used, it didn't sound like anything that a medical professional would do. And a real medical professional would be responding. And then we heard that they don't even really send the real professionals to the scene. They leave it to, regular people to decide if it's a crime scene or not. Like that's something that has to have real eyes on in the beginning. So they're letting people play the part of doctors and nurses that aren't really the parts, right? So a doctor wouldn't have never sat there and tried to treat a patient and do something like that was sick. That's not how it goes. No healthcare professional wants to do CPR alone or wants to be with a critically injured trauma patient without calling for help. No one wants to sit there and say, yeah, I'm going to see if I could patch her up nobody does that. Nobody does that, right? And two, doctors aren't walking around with IV start kits in their pockets. They're not walking around with CPR drugs. They said they had given out 14 rounds of adrenaline. They weren't even calling the drugs the right names and stuff. And so all of that all of that is lies. All lies from that point on there. Let's see here. Here we go. Is the guy LGBT the one that's her friend? I don't know. I had heard that somewhere too, but I don't know if I had read it somewhere, but not verified it on like a video or something like that. I don't know. Let's see. Don Rashad says, so nobody still ain't been locked up yet. I'm going to think that hopefully this video is supposed to reveal that, not this one. I don't know. We're thinking that it's supposed to be Dejanay is being detained. Yeah, I feel you. That's why we keep talking about this, because we're trying to stay focused here and make sure they're not distracting us. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Ty Lieber. Khalid and Malik too. What? Not sure about Nazir. Okay. Now I didn't. Okay. I had heard about the second. I didn't know which name it was. Thank you so much, Ty Lieber, for keeping us in tune with that. Yep. All righty. And here, Auntie Mo says, yes, but he is in the closet. Yeah, because there was talk about that. That's what the whole rage was about, was that Shanquella was possibly going to expose some secrets that people wanted to be kept. And like I said, most of us victims have been conditioned into keeping secrets, and we can see why, because it's very dangerous to reveal to these abusers that you're going to expose them. So these are mistakes. Do that. Don says, honestly, I prefer street justice for Dejanay, because criminal justice seems to be not working. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but yeah, we have to allow. Hello, beauties. Thank you, Poetic Kels, for returning here and coming in with the perfect greetings. Thank you so much. Yes. All right. Shout out to the new subscribers and welcome. Thank you so much. Please hit the like button on y'all way in here too. Yeah. I hear you about that, Dunn, though. I know what you're feeling on that. I feel it. All right, so let's get back to it here. See what else is going on.
Now, wait a minute. She went into cardiac arrest, according to what we just heard. But none of this is fitting together. Take a listen to our friends at ABC.
But those reports.
Here's my issue with the whole thing. First and foremost, there has been interviews from the mother and the parents, and they say, number one, Shanquella doesn't drink like that. Khalil, with his dumb self, he should have known good and well the parents were not going to believe this lie, because that's not Shanquella's nature. What they did was, I feel like they had a meeting.
But these narcissists, they really truly believe that they can fool anybody, that they can lie their way out of a paper bag. Like, they really feel that they're going to be able to give you story and change your perception, right? Not thinking that her parents would know their daughter, that her loved ones would know her, and that's not in her nature. Even from the little parts that we have been privy to see we can tell that Shanquella was a very kind person, a generous person, a sweet person. It wasn't in her, right? So, but anyway, I just wanted to say that too, because these are red flags. Like these narcissists, they don't believe that, they think they're fooling people. They really think they're fooling people.
After this girl died, soon after her neck and everything was broke, she was already dead. Okay, that's what I think. And they sat there for at least an hour before they called the authorities to try to fabricate this story. And the only logical story they tried to make up was like, oh, look, we're in Cabo. What do people do when they go out on trips? They drink, they party. Let's make up this dumb story. But Khalil, with his dumb self, know good and well Shanquella doesn't drink like that. That's not her nature. And so I don't know, why would he make up this bogus lie that he knows good and well he's dumb? That the
Desperate.
the parents are not going to believe that, because that's not how Shanquella is. Shanquella doesn't drink that heavy like that. She'll have some drinks, but she doesn't drink to the point where she's overly drunk like that. That's not her nature. So that's what makes the Cabo sickos so dumb, because they made up a lie that was not otherwise believable, but they tried to make it fit with the circumstances that, oh, we're in Cabo, people party, they do, outlandish things.
Right, paint a picture.
Sense. Oh, let's say she's drunk. Let's say she had too much alcohol. Dumb.
They had to say something.
Reports differing from an autopsy obtained by ABC News stating that medical professionals.
Now, see, there go that lie again, an autopsy report, right? Because we had ruled that out, that they didn't have an autopsy. They had a death certificate, a death report. And see how they keep throwing that in there with that autopsy?
Professionals arrived at the villa around 3 p.m. and declared her dead within 15 minutes, citing that Robinson died from a severe spinal cord injury and a dislocated neck.
For this to happen to her is just terrible. I just couldn't believe it. It's like I'm
Her heart goes out to her
like
mother.
a nightmare.
Yeah.
And this is why I feel that the doctor was unethical, because
it wasn't no doctor. These were the people that, a doctor, the way it's set up there, if the judge isn't even going to see you in the case and stuff, I'm believing that the people that have the higher education, the less likely just a regular person is going to get access to them. Whoever came to the scene weren't licensed. They weren't the professionals. They were just the technical people that, came to go there. And that's why they were easily bribed out. Because if a doctor was going to take the bribe, for that, trust me, they would have documented it better. They would have said that, they could have just said that the patient was DOA, or they could have said something, they could have wrote better, right? To know that the injury is going to show up. So why would they document that it was some type of alcohol poisoning? Because, at least say she fell from the roof or something like that, that would support the trauma. Like they didn't even write the right stuff. So that just shows me further that it wasn't a nurse or a doctor, a licensed person, right? Because, if you're going to tell a lie, you're going to at least tell one that's going to make sense. And that doesn't match up together. Alcohol poisoning doesn't explain the, busted lip and the broken neck and all the, trauma. Like, how are you going to explain that? That's not being explained. I wanted to move back up because you said something here that Poetic Hell says, she's not going to get justice, just like Kanika Jenkins never got justice. And Tamala Hausford never got justice. Thank you so much for saying that. Like I said here, we're not about moments of silence. And thank you for speaking these victims' voices too, because just like Kanika Jenkins and just like Tamala Hausford didn't get justice, we need to, that's why it's important that we keep doing this. Not just for Shanquella, but for these women too. These women too. And the women that have been unalive since Shanquella, right? Because that was in October. We in December now. Right? Yep. Thank you so much for saying that. And I want to say, we're going to change that and say, we're going to scratch out this knot. We're going to scratch that out right there. And we're going to speak life. We're going to speak positiveness. We're going to speak change. We're going to speak a change right now. We're going to change this to say she gonna get justice, just like Kanika Jenkins and just like Thelma Houseford, because we can still get them justice too by finding out stuff. Like y'all out there that's good with doing the research and stuff, get the research on what's going on with this stuff, and let's get their stories out there too. You know what I mean? So, everybody's got gifts here, and I'm so grateful how we're coming together and putting these gifts together. Like, with Queen Esquire Squad here doing all the research, putting it together, and now, it's like the community is building, and we're channeling all this information, and it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing, and it starts with the mindset and healing, one person at a time. And Poetic Hill says, there's no love in this world for Black women. It feels like that, but right here, right now, we showing love. We showing love, and I know how you feel, because, like I said, just waking up to this and to see this and to know that this kind of stuff been going on for forever. I remember, I remember this, I know everybody knows somebody that's in an abusive, a domestic violence type of relationship, or, there's been some type of way, like we were saying, they have all these different organizations and stuff, even they say Black Lives Matter, but it seems to be only pertaining to the Black males' lives. But what about the Black females? What about the women? What about the women? Does women's lives matter? What about us? Ty Lieber, hi, beauty. Yes. Hi, beauties. Hi, my beautiful people, my beautiful beauties and beautifuls. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much, because love will defeat all. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. Like I said, we start by loving ourselves first. Just like when you get on the airplane, they tell you to put your mask on first before you try to help the person next to you. And that's because without oxygen, if you don't put your oxygen mask on, you're going to pass out, and you're not going to be able to help the person next to you. So you're never going to be able to help anybody until you help yourself first. So put your oxygen mask on. That means to heal yourself. That way you are a healed person, and you can be an example to what that looks like for people to, follow. So then you put your mask on, then you're able to help other people. Lots and lots of people. Thank you so much. All right. I feel the same way. That's right, from Dunn. And Poetic Hill says, Dunn, that's exactly the feelings I'm getting. Okay. All right. Thank y'all so much for y'all conversation here. Ty Lieber says Shanquella was a giver, making sure that everyone was happy. I think they envied her. Yes. Envy is a very strong, wicked spirit, and is responsible for a lot of people being unalived. With that spirit of envy, it's on you, and you don't do anything about it. It could definitely fester and turn into something extremely wicked. Yep. Don Rashad says, I feel like it's a lot of cover up and payola going on. Blank is so wicked. Shaking my head. Yes. Yeah. Yes, it is. And we saw that too, because we've heard the rumors about the missing $17,000, and also rumors that Shanquella was the one who paid for the vacation for a friend's birthday. And then I heard too rumor, I don't know for sure if it was actually Dejanay's birthday. That would just be horrible. All right. And Poetic Hill says, we always lose all the beautiful ones. Yes. And that's why we really focusing on this one here now, so we don't. We can stop this. Because with that envy, people want to group together to drain that, to unalive the people that have that positive energy. And that's why it's so important that you are able to identify that spirit in people and be able to distance yourself. So you're not ever in a place where it's you and them. You want to be surrounded by people who love you, not people who envy you. Once you detect that envious spirit in somebody, it is dangerous for you to be around them. It is dangerous for you to be around them. It's dangerous for you to be around anybody who is envious of you. Yep. And that includes family members too. That includes family members too. Roderick Gibson says the family obtained an autopsy. Yes, I did hear that. But this news that they were reporting on, we saw that the news would do a little word play there, like they would say the death report, death certificate, and then they say autopsy, and then 2 breaths later they'd say death certificate. And then we were educated on the fact that autopsy and death report were two different procedures and 2 different reports, that they were different. Ty Lieber says, way too much false documentation, death certificate and statements from her friends scrambled this case, shaking my head. Yes, I agree. And that's how they try to keep you confused too, by putting off all this extra information. So you have to try to, remove the bones. Ty Lieber says, Poetic Kel's right. No love. Yeah, it is sad. And that's why I say that, those of us who have love need to make sure that we are healing ourselves so we can brighten our lights, keep our light, shine our light bright, and to be able to help other people, be able to help somebody else. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see here. I speak the truth, power. All right. Thank you. Roger Gibson says, it's on the United States. Mexico has issued an arrest warrant. For how many people? We're thinking that it's up to 2. Ty Lieber had put off in the chat that 2 of the people have been detained. I believe Mexico is trying to obtain justice for Shanquella. It takes time. I agree. And then like I said, they gave us information as far as like what the rules are. Like things are a lot different there. So I know we are used to getting things a certain way. However, with this being an internet, in another state and all that stuff, we have to be patient. Let's see. MMAX says, salute at Ty Lieber. All right. Exactly. We matter too. Thank you, Ty Lieber. Yes. And that's why I'm so grateful that we're building this community here to help heal ourselves so we can be there for our other women, and stuff. Because once we unite and stuff and we realize that we're not enemies, that we actually, it will be better for us to group together because we can help each other out. You know what I mean? We can help each other out, bringing the children up in a, they say it takes a village, right? So, yes. MMAX says, jealousy will make people say the worst lies about you. Yes, that is so true. Yeah. Yeah, jealousy is very wicked energy. Excellent lies. Smash the like button, subscribe, and share. Thank you. All right. So we got this one more, then we'll get back to this here. I'm gonna just kind of bump it up a little bit to my part. Sorry. And then so I can talk about what I was talking about here. Let's see here. MMAX says, I have a feeling someone in that group repeated or made up something that Shanquella said about Dejanay. Oh, to like starts a mess? Yes, somebody was probably being a laxative up in there. Start a mess. All right. Ty says, Mac, I agree. And they were roommates while in college. She knew. Yeah, that goes back to supporting the, the narrative that, she was getting ready to out somebody, So, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let me go on back here and see here.
Alleged alcohol poisoning. And Nay was so angry with her little stank bitter self in that.
Oh.
either. I'm gonna call her Dejani for the rest of the night. I like it.
Okay, right.
Dejani.
That's good.
It's Dejanay because it's got A-E on the end. You're right. Dejanay Jackson. Then you've got Winter Donovan, and it's spelled W-E-N-T-E-R. Is that another female?
Yes.
Then you've got Kalia Cook, the friend boy, the man.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So it's those three and your daughter, Quella, correct?
You know something I thought, guys? Winter Donovan's name really fits her. What do you think about when you think about winter? Very cold. Most of the time, it brings forth depression. You don't really like summer.
That's true.
Like
Seasonal
cold
depression.
and rainy. And that is how Winter Donovan is. She is cold, in my opinion, based on the information I've seen. And she just has a cold, decrepit, dark soul. Her mother did not realize that she was foreshadowing the dark spirit her daughter would become. Interesting, right? Isn't it ironic?
Yeah.
Yes.
Guys, this is taking place at a very upscale resort in Mexico. And you can look out the window of their Quella's suite. It's beautiful. You look right out on the beach and the ocean, palm trees, sand. I mean, this is about less than 30 minutes from where you see Jennifer Aniston. And thank you for being with us. Where is this place?
This place is still on the coast at the very bottom of the peninsula.
A federal task force officer with the U.S. Department of Justice, DEA, now private investigator at CrispinInvestigations.com. Robert, this goes to show you can be living in or staying in a 5-star resort and crime will find you. And it's very often those that know you the best.
Well, the sad part about it is everyone gives the warnings about going to Mexico. Something's going to happen to our kids when they go down there.
Yeah.
But how do you fight against the people that you went there with when they're inside your room?
I want Gary Davidson to jump in. He is.
Wow. Wow. That's a deep question there. How, and that goes back again to how I'm saying that we need to be able to identify. You want to stop, look, listen, and feel for energy, feel the vibes, Like I said, if you walked into a room and right before you walked in there, the people in there were arguing, even if you didn't hear them, when you walk in the room, you're going to feel the tension. You're like, hey, did I walk into something here? You can feel it, right? So you want to keep your radar up like that when you're around people and stuff. You should be able to detect when somebody's jealous of you. You want to learn how to be able to detect when somebody is jealous of you. Somebody doesn't like you, right? Not friends. Hey, Tanya, joining late. I love Queen Squire Squad. Okay, I was just saying this. My first time, a subscriber had left a comment and turned me on here. And I see that I'm part of her video. She has a clip of me in there. I'm about to get to that because I'm excited to see me. I like that. All right. So see, joining late. I love Queen Squire Squad. She is an attorney. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. She is an attorney. I also asked you to check out her page as she breaks things done for legal end. Okay, yes, I will. I'm excited to have found her. And the process actually works. Okay. Let's see here. Look, Queen Squire Squad describing the extortion process. Is that one of her videos? I mean, for in one of her what part of her catalog? Okay, so cool. All right, now I'm gonna kind of jump ahead here. I know I'm just kind of a little anxious here to see what we're talking about here. All right, let's see here. We're just gonna let it play so we don't get too not knowing what the story is leading up to.
Oh my gosh, guys. He just pointed out something that we were saying. He was like, they're scared that something's gonna happen to their kids when they go to Mexico.
Yeah.
And then when you go there, it's the very people that's supposed to be your friends. Dang,
and then nothing can happen to those friends because they did it in Mexico. That must feel pretty horrible to know that all those people are still walking around and that they actually was able to come to the house and break bread with the family and stuff after doing that. And that even after they saw the video, they were still walking around free because they did it in Mexico. Like, I don't know. Just wrap your brain around that.
It's a partner with Diaz Royce International Law Firm at DiazReus.com. This happens in Mexico at this luxurious resort. Gary Davidson, I want you to hear our friend Erica Jackson at WSOC.
They all came to my house on Tuesday and explained what had happened.
Salamondra says Shanquella's friends blamed her death on alcohol. Then the Robinson family received a copy of her death certificate. It shows she died 15 minutes after injuring her neck and spinal cord. The report also states Shanquella was found unconscious in the living room, and her death is believed to be violent or accidental.
Wow.
Violent or accidental? And then this video emerges. How can anybody say this is accidental? I mean, to you, Dr. Kendall Crowns, Chief Medical Examiner, Tarrant County, this is no accident. You see the beating. Now we know that she was dead 15 minutes after injuring her neck and spinal cord.
Yep.
Why? Why are you dead 15 minutes after the injury?
So usually with these type of spinal cord injuries, with what she has is an atlas luxation, which means a dislocation of the first cervical vertebrae.
Do you mind saying that one more time? An atlas what?
It's an atlas luxation is what the cause of death is.
So she pretty much knocked her head off. The only thing that held it up was, the skin, but she knocked her head off of her body.
So and what that is cervical vertebrae number one. The one right underneath your skull is the atlas, and it slid out of place and then pushed on her spinal cord. And then usually what happens is it bruises the spinal cord, but the spinal cord bruises take a little time to set in before they kill you. So that's why you can see a survival time period of about 15 minutes. But in the video, after she is whipped about her head and dropped to the ground, to me, it doesn't look like she has any more purposeful movement, even though the other individual continues to pound on her. It's that movement there is what killed her.
I need you to speak so we can all understand you, Dr. Kendall Crowns, not in your elocution, but describing this. So you're saying atlas luxation is cause of death, but you're referring to one particular spot just under the head. When that particular spot is dislocated or kicked out of the line of the spine, I'm extrapolating, are you saying the head is then no longer attached, the brain is no longer attached to, for instance, the heart and the other parts of your body that keep you alive?
Right. That's the area of the brainstem is where the cervical vertebrae number one or the atlas is sitting, and that is causing damage to the brainstem, which controls your heart rate, your respiratory rate, all the functions of your body. So it isn't necessarily completely separated, but it's bruised and damaged to the point that the individual dies. And that's why she has a survival time period, because it's damaged, not completely torn.
Well, of course, Gary Davidson.
Oh my gosh, y'all. He broke it down. He broke it down and even talked about the survival period. Wow. So this is kind of reinforcing what the death certificate says. And also he describes in detail what the significance of that type of injury, where it cuts off the blood flow of that area. Oh my gosh, guys, this is, when you hear the details of that, like, look at the reactions of y'all in the chat. That is so sad. Like, he really broke it down. Like, the exact details of the severity of that type of injury. I am so glad Nancy Grace got on this, guys, because we wouldn't have been able to see the full details, because we can't trust what was going on during this investigation.
As a high-profile lawyer that specializes in international law, Gary, the family knew in the first instant of alcohol poisoning? Gary Davidson, take a listen to our friend Joe Bruno.
The Shanquella Robinson's friends told her parents that she died from alcohol poisoning. That theory never sat right with her father, and he just, quite frankly, didn't buy it. I know it wasn't no alcohol poisoning. I know it wasn't.
Shanquella's death certificate never mentions alcohol poisoning. It lists the cause of death as severe.
Found to Dr. Kendall Crowns. Dr. Kendall Crowns, I would like a yes/no answer to these. The autopsy said, did it not, that this atlas luxation was the cause of death, the COD? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Isn't it true that in autopsies that
She cross-examines.
tissue samples are taken and blood alcohol and toxicology panels are run? Isn't that true?
Yes.
And isn't it also true, Dr. Kendall?
Damn, what I was telling you guys. Exactly. So this whole lie about the alcohol poisoning, blah, blah, blah. No, they take blood tissue. They're able to analyze that. There was no alcohol in that girl. She just woke up.
Yeah.
Lies. Did they not? See, that's how dumb sometimes these criminals are. They make up these stupid lies, not realizing it's going to have to be proven. They're going to be able to determine that and cause of death. Khalil, with his little deceptive self, thought he was going to try to really put a shield over this poor parent's eyes, and just make her think it was really alcohol poisoning, so she wouldn't actually inquire and go get an autopsy. She was gonna be like, oh, okay, and then just bury her daughter. No, Khalil, no.
Crowns, that those samples would have shown if Quella died of alcohol poisoning, and also the toxicity in her body, her blood alcohol, correct?
Correct.
But it didn't mention that, did it, Dr. Crowns?
Not that I've seen.
It did not. So Gary Davidson, that leads me to this. Not only do they beat the woman, stand by and video this girl getting killed, they then lie about her cause of death to her mother.
Yeah.
They lied about it. Now, is lying a felony? No, it is not. But doesn't it suggest to you, Gary, that they lied for a nefarious reason, and that reason being to cover up their involvement in her death?
Yes, absolutely. It very much appears that the story is being told to the family from the very get-go were not true. And it does raise the question of whether this was a pre-planned attack, whether it was organized not only by the person who committed it physically, but those around the room. And
right there, we have another expert having the same analysis that a lot of us had in our prior videos of this was this a planned attack? It sounds like it to me that morning or even that night, probably. That little stank Dejanay with her little stanky attitude. I know women just like her, just insecure, and they can't, when they see somebody that's doing better than them or looks better than them, whatever it is.
That envious spirit.
Self-esteem self.
Yeah.
Dejanay's stank self couldn't handle it. Because you could tell she already had an attitude when Shanquella was looking for them in the villa and went into the room. She had her little ugly hands on her hip, having a little attitude, talking about, I'm looking for my swimsuit, and that swimsuit's not cute, and get in there. Shut up, Dejanay. Shut up. You were insecure and stank. I really don't think logically they planned this before they left to Cabo, because it would be dumb, though. It's Dejanay's birthday. It's Nazir's birthday. Why would they pay all this money to go to Cabo to kill somebody? I really don't think that's the logical explanation. I think when they got there, but I do think there was a history of jealousy that Dejanay had towards Shanquella, because she's seen Shanquella on campus during those years, in my opinion, seeing her, shining in who she was, beautiful, had more than her. Was very successful, not only just in her career, but in life, just in who she was. Everybody loved Shanquella. I mean, we got pictures of that
Yeah.
to show that in prior videos.
People hate that
We
too.
got,
When you will like.
Shanquella was a double major in business and in nursing, and in her nursing program, all the different girls, I had a picture of that in one of my videos where they were like surrounding her, and you could just tell that Shanquella was like the center of that room in the picture. And they had little comments about that on the picture. You got to watch the video back to see that. But anyway, that I did about that. But when there's women like that shine like that, and then you have insecure little low vibrational women like that just stank, right? Those women just sit there, they give you a little stank face looking at you and observing you shine. And I guarantee you, when they went to that trip, Shanquella's still shining and being happy, and Dejanay had a little stank attitude in the room, venting all the time to them other girls, and Malik with his little following self, and Khalil, because Khalil's the double-minded, two-faced one. But we have experts on this, Nancy Grace, thinking the same way we're thinking. So obviously, these are logical thoughts. And the reason why I have to reinforce this, because some people are like, you shouldn't be, you doing too much, you reaching. No, it's called looking at the information we have and formulating an opinion.
Yeah.
Which you can do.
And everybody is coming to the same conclusion.
You know, it's a sad day for the family, but it's also going to be a very, very sad day for these people because they are going to be implicated. They are going to, at a minimum, be witnesses in a potential criminal trial.
You got that right, Davidson. They're not just witnesses. And what you said really hits the nail on the head, Gary Davidson. Now I know why you're a high-profile lawyer specializing in international law. This was pre-planned.
Nancy, could I speak to that? Because
I had said that.
I mean, the woman is asleep in bed, and they come in with a video camera with Muhammad Ali over there in the corner ready to fight.
I'm done with Nancy Grace. I'm so done. She said Muhammad Ali. But why is she describing it to the T though? Muhammad Ali in the corner ready to fight. It looked like that, didn't it?
Yes.
Like that was right in that little corner ready to fight.
Yep.
Like Muhammad Ali.
Attack.
No, Trissy, she's not a transgender. Isn't that funny though? She said Muhammad Ali in the corner ready to fight. I'm done with Nancy for tonight, y'all.
See, here we go again. Everybody keep coming to that transgender.
At the video. She's in the corner, little Muhammad Ali stank self. She stank. That's her opinion. That's my opinion about her. She stank. Her attitude stank. In the corner, ready to fight just because she intimidated. She's intimidated by Shanquella.
Let's move up a little bit here.
And anybody she thinks is better than her, looks better than her, has more than her. That's why they went and sent it off to their little friends back in North Carolina. That gravity to record someone naked getting beat to death.
Yes.
Deep in mourning.
Okay.
And when we first started talking off camera, she said it made her sick to her stomach. When I look at this video, I thought I was going to get sick to my stomach just watching it, much less it being her little girl. I understand that you Zoomed with her on Friday, the day before she was killed, and she was upbeat, was having a good time the day before, right? Did she discuss any tensions with the other women?
No, I talked with Shanquella and I watched her Instagram. She spoke and she seemed to be very happy. Sound like Shanquella normally sounds. And you know, like I said, I told her, enjoy yourself. She said she was getting ready to eat. The chef was cooking some tacos. I said, well, enjoy yourself. I will talk to you tomorrow and love you. And I know spoke with her again.
And what about the people standing by and watching? Take a listen to our cut 11. This is our friend Matt Revers at GMA.
Now, the mother says that Shanquella never told her about any tension going on. I'm going to give my opinion.
Okay.
Given the background, the information we know about Shanquella was trying to find the best out of this whole situation. I don't think she would have told her mom. I think she would have just tried to just be positive. And number two, we don't know who was around when she was talking to her mom, y'all. That's another key thing. Was Khalil around? Shanquella, number one, doesn't want to worry her mom.
Day before, right? Did she discuss any tensions with the other women?
No, I talked with Shanquella and I watched her Instagram. She spoke and she seemed to be very happy. Sound like Shanquella normally sounds. And, like I said, I told her, enjoy yourself. She said she was getting ready to eat. The chef was cooking some tacos. I said, well, enjoy yourself. I will talk to you tomorrow and love you. And I know spoke with her again.
And what about the people standing by and watching? Take a listen to our cut 11. This is our friend Matt Rivers at GMA.
We got our first dead body. A new video surfacing showing Shanquella resting in a hammock at some point before the trip turned deadly.
Butter. I heard.
Did he say we got our first DEAD body? Was that the vocals from the video when somebody was filming her in a hammock or something asleep?
There's some stuff, a dead body,
Yeah.
No, some people
I heard that. Wow.
I disagree with my analysis of that first dead body thing that, people say that. Okay, number one, I know that people will say, she looked drunk or she's out of it or blah, blah, blah. But never have I heard, I'm speaking from my own experience. You guys can speak from yours. I haven't heard anybody describe someone as first dead body, number one. Number two, Shanquella doesn't drink a lot like that. She wasn't drunk in that video, in my opinion. She had not been drunk in that video where she was sleeping. She was taking a nap. So there is no evidence whatsoever. We even saw her when she did wake up and get tacos. She was not drunk in any way. So then why would he describe her as being a dead body if she's not drunk? Again, so it doesn't fit the circumstances. It doesn't. So the excuse of, he's just using that because that's what young people use now when someone's drunk or wasted. But that's not the facts here, in our opinion.
Yeah.
The girl wasn't drunk. You can tell because if she was, she would have been slurring her words at the dinner table, and that's not what happened.
Yeah.
When they were at the taco bar, because she slept earlier, then about 8:45 she takes a nap, or I don't know the time frame. I forgot the time frame, but I think it's about 8:45 she takes a quick nap. Then they have the taco bar. And she gets back up and she's recording them drinking. And she's like, drank. Her voice was not slurred in whatsoever in that video. And then she's like, we're in this big house. She sounded completely sober to me, completely sober. She talked to her mother before she went to the taco bar. Mother never mentioned that her daughter was sounding intoxicated, period. So with that being said, why would he say first dead body if she's not drunk? It doesn't fit the circumstances. We can't excuse it if it doesn't fit the situation. Why would he use those words?
Yes.
It doesn't fit. She's not drunk, in my opinion. So again, the words are too cryptic to me.
Yeah.
And I have a right to have my opinion. Because I heard some people online say, no, people just use those words. Yeah, I've never heard it personally.
I heard it too.
I heard people say somebody's wasted or they're out of it, stuff like that. But even if this is the new terminology these people are using, which I've never heard it.
I heard that too.
But
I felt it.
They are using those type of weird ways to describe somebody who's drunk. Shanquella wasn't drunk.
Yeah.
We don't have any information showing she was drunk.
He was promoting
her that day before she goes to the taco bar. She sounds fine. Mom doesn't mention anything about her being intoxicated. We saw her social media live. We heard her voice. She didn't have slurred speech. She didn't sound drunk. So where is he getting first dead body from? Very cryptic, very sick. I don't care what anybody says. That's my opinion about it. It sounds like somebody who, in my opinion, had a plan. They were talking about this girl that day. They were in a room all by themselves without Shanquella. Shanquella was the only person that was not in that room.
Yeah.
Dejanay was talking all kind of mess about Shanquella. She couldn't stand Shanquella. Khalil knew that because he's in that little group. I told you he's a little double-minded person, in my opinion. This is all my opinion again, y'all. Opinion. I think he knew. I think he was in there with the rest of the group talking mess about Shanquella and then going back out,
stirring the pot
in Shanquella's face, which is why he was like, I think we got our first dead body.
Yeah.
Because probably Dejanay was talking about she wanted to beat her up. I want to beat her up. And she always trying to outshine somebody.
Yeah.
How dare her come up in our room talking about getting naked? Nobody want to go skinny dipping with you. I'm not cool with you like that. And I don't know what she was saying, guys. I'm just trying to figure out just examples. I don't know
the
what
energy
I'm saying. But
We found out we knew what the autopsy said.
And you haven't seen him since?
Haven't seen him since.
So let me understand this, Ms.
right.
exactly, y'all. You could just look at the videos. It's right there, y'all. Let's go back. Sorry. This story makes me so irate. Oh my God.
Since all of this happened?
Yeah, he came to the house 4 days in a row until he found out we knew what the autopsy said.
And you haven't seen him since?
Haven't seen him since.
So let me understand this, Mrs. Robinson. The friend, Clea Cook, comes to your house several times after they get home from their vacation. But as soon as the true cause of death comes out, this dislocation, the atlas luxation of the spinal cord, then he suddenly quits showing up. And I bet you haven't heard from any of them ever since you learned the true cause of death, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Because you know they're all lying.
Yes.
And they know that you know. What I don't understand is why the case is not moving forward. What's going on with the Mexican?
Wow.
Dang, I don't know. I haven't heard this, but maybe you guys heard it. But Salamondra said he came 4 days.
Yeah.
I didn't hear all the amount of days in the prior interviews. I may have just over.
I heard 4 too, just now.
He was there 4 days. You know what that sound like to me? That sound like to me like he was trying to brainwash this woman, trying to really, really convince her because he knew he had an influence on her. He knew he'd gone on all these trips, faking, pretend to be a fake friend.
Yeah.
And he knew he had all this influence, which is why Dejanay and all them was like, you need to go talk to her. You need to go talk to her because she'll listen to you. Go over there and talk to her and make her think it's alcohol poisoning. We're all in this together. If you don't tell her, you're going to be in trouble too. Because 4 days in a row he was there, it sounds like this is somebody on a mission, doesn't it?
But you know, those narcs and psychopaths, they love returning to the scene. Like he was probably getting pleasure out of lying to them like that, knowing full well that he knew the reason why Shanquella wasn't here anymore. And it made him feel good that he was lying right to their faces. These narcissists get pleasure out of that. He was probably getting all kind of energy out of it. He was, you know, feeling more empowered each day that he was able to get away with it. Okay, here we go. Let's keep going here.
Why you got to come so many days?
Hey, John Q.
Sitting there eating and looking at her face, bringing multiple people over there to try to convince this woman of a lie. It sounded as though he was trying to convince her not to look into the situation. Oh, don't worry about an autopsy. Believe me. Believe me, I'm the best friend. Don't worry, you don't got to look into it. Just bury her. She was drank too much. He was using his little cunning, sick, deceptive, sly self to try to deceive this woman to get her not to look into the case. That's what I think. And I'm glad this woman had intuition to be like, no, something ain't right. Something ain't right. I'm going to wait until this autopsy. I don't care what you're saying because 4 days in a row, that's dedication. Dedication, y'all. And all of a sudden, when he got found out, he's gone.
Yeah.
No consciousness of guilt right there. He told on himself. He told on himself. As soon as he stopped coming over there, he told on himself that he was guilty and he was found out.
Yep.
But I like this next part because Nancy Grace is going to go into why it's taking too long.
Authorities, take a listen to Our Cut 14, our friends at WSOC.
Investigators in Mexico now say they believe that Robinson was killed. It's significant because her parents said that they were originally told that she died of alcohol poisoning.
So if they know she was killed, she was murdered, what's the holdup, Gary Davidson?
The holdup is extradition. Extradition is a process where individuals are summoned through official channels between governments to return to the place where they are alleged to have committed a crime. And in this case, the Mexican government is seeking extradition of the individual who is accused of actually undertaking the attack on the victim. So there's a process, a court process that has to be followed by the United States government, and ultimately, there is a treaty between the United States and Mexico.
Gary, I've done extraditions. It's really easy. It's not a long process. We in the U.S. have to arrest these POCs, these so-called friends on a girl's getaway. We got to arrest them. We take them to court, and there's just a couple of questions. You get their fingerprint, and you say, "Are you Gary Davidson?" And if the person says yes, it's all over, because you have a signed governor's warrant from Mexico. And all you need to do, you don't have to establish guilt or innocence. All they have to do is establish, are you Gary Davidson? And if you tell me no under oath, I compare your fingerprints, I see that it's you, and bye-bye. You got a chain on your hands, and you're on the way to Mexico. That's all there is. It's not a fact-finding investigation in court. It's very simply, are you Gary Davidson? That's all I want to know. That's all an extradition is. Then you send the person to the venue, the jurisdiction, to be tried.
Who is responsible for it? So is she saying that all we have to, is it us that's supposed to go pick up the people that's been, that's going to be extradited? Like, who's responsible for that? Are we waiting for? Sounds like she's saying that it's us. Like we should we should have did it. I don't know. How y'all understanding that? Sound like she's saying
that right?
In most instances, that is correct. Of course, we're assuming that the U.S. government has been able to locate the individual that they're seeking, which is not something you can always assume.
Gary, they're all over Facebook. How hard can it be?
One would think by now it would have been accomplished, but I'm not behind the scenes, so I can't answer beyond that.
Ms. Robinson, he's right. Gary Davidson is correct. Ms. Robinson, what are they telling you?
Well, they're not telling me anything. They're not even telling me whose name is on the arrest warrant that they have. But we know there's a warrant out there, and we're hoping that they relocate them real soon.
So does that mean that it's not Dejanay? We don't know that it's Dejanay then? If this mom is saying that they don't even know whose name is on the arrest warrant.
And I hear what Nancy Grace is saying, but I don't agree with her. It does take time because number one, they're going to submit that to the Department of Justice. Then the Department of Justice sends a complaint to the magistrate, who then issues the warrant. Now, my problem is why is it taking so long for them to arrest this girl? She must be on the run, y'all. She's hiding. People say she fled to Connecticut. I don't think they can find this girl because we have seen, and I did a video on this, where journalists are looking for these people also, and also law enforcement also, because they're putting business cards on their old addresses. These people are in hiding. That's what they're thinking of. They're looking for this girl. They probably haven't even served her the warrant yet.
Wow. Wow. Isn't that something? All right. MMAX says, my only cause for pause is because no weapons was used. I don't believe Dejanay intended to unalive her from hand fighting. I believe she wanted to beat and embarrass her. Yeah, I agree with that too. And the issue is that after the fact, like once you recognize, I don't know. I mean, because it was so vicious, like, that's horrible. You meant to do some serious damage, you know, how you did that. So, but yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one there, MC. Agree. Tanya agrees with you. Hey, Rebel Ma'am. Kind of thinking the same thing. Yeah, like I don't think. Yeah, I don't think they planned it, but that was just way too much. So I'm gonna say that Dejanay was super aggressive, and that after the fact, them going through such great measures to cover it up is the reason why. Now I think just because you didn't intend to do it, but you did it, and what you did afterwards has to have some type of weight to it. Tanya Carter says, glad Nancy is on the case so people can stop believing the Mexican reporter. Yeah, I was saying that too. that I was grateful that, here's somebody that everybody knows, heard the name, and she happens to be American and an attorney too, so yeah. Tanya Carter says, yes, the FBI or U.S. Marshals to arrest them. John Q says the U.S. Marshals here in the United States is the responsible agency that will detain the subject on the warrant. And see, Rebel Man says, all my love and sympathy to the Robinson family. Yes. I believe the Mexican reporter said the aggressor's name is on the arrest warrant. And John Q says the U.S. Marshal here in the United States is the responsible agency that will detain this. Okay, I did do that already. I don't know how. And Tanya Carter says her channel has a lot of information, and she is an attorney who has worked on international cases, not a divorce attorney like the lead attorney. All right, so let's see here. And Auntie Mo says American citizens can appeal for the stuff that's happening over in Mexico. Okay, that's good to know. Auntie Mo, and then too, she's a lady, right? So she's a lady, so hopefully that'll make her more partial and more motivated to do something and to continue to stay on this and help use her voice, for this. Auntie Mo said it takes a longer time than what she is saying. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back on this here. We're almost done, y'all. We're coming in for a landing.
That's what I think. Because I'm like, why is it taking so long? And shouldn't it be easy for them to find them? They probably got rid of them phones because the phone numbers don't even work anymore. They're on the run. They're not trying to turn themselves in. Because I'm like, that's the number one thing. They got to get her arrested first, then get her into a court to have that limited hearing. And then after the limited hearing, and the judge looks at the evidence, then the judge decides, okay, it's enough to prosecute this girl. She didn't commit a crime. What? And they send that off to the Secretary of State. And then I'm wondering too, there's another question is the feds wondering whether they want to prosecute it here? That could be another question they're trying to figure out. Are they going to prosecute it here? Is it in the best interest to just keep the case here? Or they're going to go ahead and just send her back on down the line to Mexico. I still think, I get what Nancy Grace is saying, but there's other things at play in this case for why they're probably, but my thing is, I think they fled, God. I think they having a problem finding these people because I've seen a lot of different reports out there where the sheriff's office and police officers are leaving all these business cards on their old addresses, and they can't find these people. I really don't think they found them yet.
Yeah, and they've had a whole month
down, just using their phones and relatives. That's another thing. It should be easy to just find these people, right?
But they probably got new phones.
Families' houses. Go to Connecticut where they have close ties. That's another thing I'm asking. Have they gone to those areas where they have family members?
I thought they said that
close ties, because they can't be that far.
She was captured.
This girl don't have that much money. Clearly, she's not doing too well in life with her little jealous self. I don't know. You guys let me know in the chat. Just make it make sense.
The rest wants that they have. But we know there's a one out there, and we're hoping that they relocate them real soon. We haven't heard any more.
Do you know where these girls are?
No, I have no idea.
Well, they went to college with her. They could afford a Mexican vacation. They had to have a passport. We've got to know where they live.
They stopped the passport. They know where each one of them live. All of them have it's somewhere hiding. None of them is at the address that's on their passport. None of them there.
Wow.
Bam, see, this is what I'm telling you guys. This is why you guys can tell when the news is fake. If the parents don't know, it's fake.
Yeah.
They're the first to know.
That's a good point.
Information this mother knows. She said they stopped the passports. Those passports are no longer valid. They're done. Can't use those anymore. How does she know that? Because they told her that.
Yeah, I thought that too.
If she doesn't know about an arrest, there's no arrest. Okay,
yeah.
They won't tell her. Unless it compromises the case, they won't tell her.
Yeah, it's a good point,
Most
Queen.
of the time, they're going to let her know because she's the victim.
Yeah.
And then she also says that they're hiding. They all moved out, fled. Even the parents gone. These little shady parents.
Wow.
That's
That's why
guys.
people
Just
were
shedding light on
upset with the parents. You know, I was at the Lee Turner show, and he was saying how people were saying that the parents of the people should pay. Maybe that's why, if they're hiding them out, or if they're in hiding too. Okay, we getting through it, y'all. We almost there.
We'll say, don't talk about the parents, but the parents aren't doing anything to have their kids be held accountable. They're hiding their kids just as much. And also, people from Dejanay's camp is over here talking to reporters, lying, talking about, well, who knows, guys? There may be another tape, but claiming there's another tape. Some people out there are saying they saw the tape. I don't know about the tape, so I'm not going to go with another tape until we see some confirmation. But there was some people in my chat talking about they saw this other tape with Winter. I don't know if that's true, but somebody from Dejanay's camp is surely trying to say that narrative that there's another tape. Either way, guys, Dejanay is just as much responsible for this girl's death. You can see it on the video.
Yes, exactly.
Video. I still keep on my theory that I think poor Shanquella was neck and back was broke during that video.
Yep, you can see it.
Her neck was just slumped over at the end of the video after her neck was swung around.
You can see that it was off the head. It was just.
And whoever heard of someone taking someone by the neck and swinging them or twisting them around and slamming them? I haven't seen anybody do that. That is pretty
gruesome.
Intense.
Yeah.
What Dejanay did. I need to stop saying her name right. Dejanay did. Sorry, I forgot to say her name incorrectly. Dejanay did.
Tell you what, I can't wait for a jury to hear about how they hid under the bed at mommy's house while cops are trying to find them more evidence of guilt. Tip line 888-407-4747. Repeat, 888-40.
Good job, Nancy.
To the video. So, okay, you heard Gary Davidson. U.S. Marshals, it's time for you to do what you do best. Tip line 888-407-4747. Repeat, 888-407-4747. At this point, Gary Davidson, wouldn't you say it's on the U.S. Marshal in the jurisdiction of North Carolina to find them?
Yes, indeed, and they have resources, obviously, to bring to bear with the FBI if, in fact, these individuals have fled from North Carolina. They will be caught. They don't sound like the type of people who have unlimited funds.
They're not criminal masterminds either, Gary.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, guys, but I hear from other individuals is that they come from very humble beginnings. These are not individuals that have wealthy families like that. So they can't hide out for too long.
They're the ones that posted the video. So, okay, you heard Gary Davidson.
They will be caught. They don't sound like the type of people who have unlimited funds.
They're not criminal masterminds either, Gary. They're the ones that posted the video. So, okay, you heard Gary Davidson. U.S. Marshals, it's time for you to do what you do best and bring these people to extradition to Mexico.
Yeah, guys, that's another thing. It's like they're dumb. This is a whole issue of clout chasing. These people out here clout chasing, recording a crime, and then plastering it all online for clout. And ended up incriminating their own self. Just complete stupidity.
Yeah.
But I'm glad for the clout chasing era because, but for that, I guarantee there probably would have been no resolution of this case. If there was no video, even though there was evidence of a broken back and neck, I'm telling you, they would have never prosecuted this.
Yeah.
So I am so grateful.
Me too.
Thank God for clout chasing
and
social media.
Yep.
Thank you, Lord. Because that tape is really what broke this whole case open. Even though I'm telling you, even though with the broken neck and broken back, I think the Mexican authorities would have kept this same excuse of talking about, oh no, alcohol poisoning, because there would have been no way to prove otherwise.
Yeah.
They could have like, oh, well, she was drunk.
And then to think, what if her parents weren't able to recover her body, right? They would have just, had no choice but to just believe what they were told. But, they had the resources to be able to have that happen. You'll be amazed at how many people, when somebody expires don't have the money, for final arrangements. It happens a lot. So I'm sure, maybe they were thinking that they weren't going to be able to, recover her remains. And, now that when it came back, it revealed a lot more. So that's something. Jet Swan, all right, it's a new name there, says Nancy Grace lost her fiance to a violent crime. She has never lost a case in her life. Let her do her work and she will get them all. Also, I would just like to say thank you very much. All right, thank you, Jet Swan. That was very thoughtful. I appreciate you for commenting. Thank you so much. And Poetic Kel says the Mexican reporter is a crisis actor. Oh my goodness. And Poetic Kel says, explain to me why, as he was allegedly sharing the details in Spanish, he dropping his Cash App in English. Oh, I don't know. Rebel ma'am says, hiya, Jet Swan, welcome. Yes, thank you, welcome so much here. Tanya Carter says, and a lying con artist. He looked familiar. Ty Lieber says, Carbo 6 aren't smart enough to hide this well. Somebody's helping them. Yeah. Or maybe it's like Nancy said, they're not really looking for him. Tanya, okay, I was like, is y'all okay? Because I know a fraud when I see a fraud. Let's see. A Jet Swan says, I saw in the comments people stating, that they saw the tape that is just extended, but they saw the other girl that hit Shanquella. It was more than just one of them stating that they all saw it. Yeah. I want to say too, I remembered when this first came out, back when the whole video was being played, that there was more to it, that because, we see Dejanay walking off kind of like, still riled up, that the other someone else, I remember a lighter skinned person coming in there doing something too. And then, yeah. So I'm not sure, I think it's the one tape that maybe they just only kind of cut off parts of it, cut parts off. But we can still see just from the piece that came out that, Dejanay was the one who delivered the unaliving blow. And see here, it's only 2 tapes, one with her looking for them and one with the man beating her until she was gone. There we go again with that, y'all. See, we keep coming back to this, and Poetic Kells here is not the only one who is still questioning the gender of this Dejanay person. We're just looking at it and, all that stuff. And so, yeah, thank you for keeping that out too, just so people know. Poetic Hell says, I don't bite my tongue. Yes. And we have, we're here just seeking truth and stuff like that. And everybody, it's not just you. So sometimes you have to think about it like everybody can't be feeling this way, right? Rebel Man says at Poetic Hills, is there another one where they walk up to her in the hammock? Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's, there was a video of them out to the, with dinner and drinks, type stuff. So there's, there's more video. But I'm thinking she's referring to like the attack video. Tanya Carr says, does the Cash App has a Spanish to English translation like in Google, probably Google? I don't know. I didn't see this Cash App or nothing like that. And, here we go. All right. So we coming in for a landing now, y'all. We're about to get to get to the ending here. Coming in for a land. Let me see. I think we got a little bit more of a.
You failed. You know, they could have made up anything, but I'm so grateful, guys, for clout. Had it not been for clout,
yeah,
and these little stank, evil, demonic, fake individuals,
yes,
demonic people. I'm telling you this story. Yes, I like going over this story because somebody here saying you're obsessed with this case. No, I'm not obsessed with it. I care about the case.
yeah.
Okay? And when I care about something, I'm gonna analyze it to the core because it means a lot to me. And this one does because, like I said in other videos, it could have been any of us.
Yeah.
And I can identify with this one because I've had some fake friends.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go over this video with this nurse because I feel like she really broke down.
Thank you.
What possibly Shanquella could have been going through during her last moments.
Oh.
And I thought it was pretty pivotal. So I'm going to play it for you because I thought it was pretty significant.
Because you can see Dejanay twisted.
See, there go right there. Y'all see it? Y'all see it?
Continuously.
See the head? How it's just dangling like that?
Incident, after she got her injuries a couple minutes later, that she could have died.
I have 30 years of nursing experience. The reason I'm saying this is because I spent a lot of years working with spinal cord injury patients. And depending on how high the injury to your spinal cord is, if you can breathe or not. So you're not gasping for air. Your lungs, you're not moving. So I used to work with patients on ventilators. And occasionally, in the hospital, they have a staff.
So let's just stop and read this first. But this lady right here has 30 years of experience. I want you guys to really listen to her because I feel like she really does a great description of what Shanquella could have possibly gone through. But
thank you, Queen.
It says, what level of spinal cord injury impairs breathing? Y'all hear me?
Yep.
Impairs breathing. A patient with a complete injury above C5 will typically have impaired diaphragm function and is likely to require a period of
endotracheal intubation. Endotracheal.
And mechanical ventilation.
That's the ventilator I was talking about.
Injury level may also involve diaphragm weakness, but is more likely to be associated with the ability to breathe independently. Oh my God.
See? Yeah, I'm glad she put the information out there. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
More than likely could not breathe when her neck was snapped like that.
Yep.
That is
instant.
Horrific.
Their body is not going to move because they need the ventilators to move. If you have,
I'm going to read this too, y'all. So let's just read it. Spinal cord injury often leads to an impairment of the respiratory system. The more rostral the level of injury, the more likely the injury will affect ventilation. In fact, respiratory insufficiency is the #1 cause of mortality and morbidity after SCI. Poor Shanquella, if this is the case. This poor young lady died a horrific death. Imagine being slammed like that and not being able to breathe, but yet you're dying and you can't speak or tell anybody. That is horrific. And you're hearing this woman yelling at you as you're dying and you can't breathe. And no one's helping. Oh my poor God.
have an injury up here, you're not breathing. When she fell, if you look at the video, you can see when the back was broken because it's a certain way a paralyzed body can lay. If your body is not paralyzed in certain positions, you just can't naturally go.
Your brain will stop you. You'll try to break the fall somewhere. You'll bend your leg. Your brain will send the signal down even to your feet to turn a certain way. So you would try to protect yourself. So when we see her collapse like that, that's the body. Her head is detached now. So no signals is going anywhere.
When he first was slung over, and she sat up like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna show it out.
Her neck was broke at that time. She's able to look. She can still think and everything, but she's not able to make any sound. So she saw them and heard them talking to her like that, and she was helpless until she blacked out because without oxygen, you're done.
Later on that day, the workers.
Their body is not going to move because.
Man, what she said was so powerful that I had to play it again, guys. But sorry, I'm about to read this because that was jaw-dropping when she said that. Whoa. Not being able to breathe, not being able to talk, but you can literally hear and see this demon before you, saying names to you. You can't do anything. You're helpless. As you're dying, rest Shanquella's soul.
Yes.
I really hope these authorities throw the book at these people. I pray they don't give her any form of leniency. They need to suffer the way this poor, helpless young lady suffered. This is unacceptable what they did to her. Now let's read this. Spinal cord injury often leads to an impairment of the respiratory. We already read this one. Sorry, guys. This is the next one I didn't read.
They need to visualize you. If you have an injury up here, you're not breathing. When she fell, if you look at the video, you can see when the back was broken because it's a certain way of paralyzed body leg. If your body is not paralyzed in a certain position, you just can't naturally go in. When he first was hung over and she
Here go. Let me stop it. God darn. I'm trying to catch the still frame so y'all can see it. If you get an opportunity, you can see the bow in the back, and then when she continued to pound off her head like that, and that's it. And that's why everybody feels so affected when they see the video, because your subconscious know what you just saw. Your subconscious see it.
So let's read that, guys. It says clinical signs of.
Oh, I'm gonna drop the link for this one because I got somebody who could explain this. Let me just finish. Watch this.
Neck
Listen.
Pain, abnormal head positions, head tilt, holding the head down, wobbliness of all four legs.
All four legs, right? Now, how many of us got four legs? Right?
Weakness of all four legs, inability to stand, or inability to move the legs. Wow, head tilt. Her head was tilt in that video. Holding the head down. We saw that in the video. Go back and watch the video. I'm not playing on my platform. Oh, no. Yeah. But her head was tilt at the very end of that video.
The reason why I was bringing that up because the one gentleman in here, John Q, really, I think I'll leave the link of that video, that live, where the gentleman got up here and really broke down that a veterinarian, those are veterinarian terms, stuff like that. See, that's how she got the wobbliness of the four legs. This is, they probably, I don't know how they did it, but anyway, that's another one of those Freudian slips, how they just kind of slipped in some wrong information there. So yeah. Anyway, let me get some more of these comments up on here, and we're going to be coming in for a landing. We actually did mostly all of this stuff here. All right. Yeah, this man here, John Q, was the one that gave that information. He dropped that down here too. All right, so we're going on 2 hours here. So we're going to be coming in for a landing shortly. However, I'm going to drop the link in case anybody wants to come up. That's there. All right. So John Q says the U.S. Marshal here in the United States is responsible agency that detains. So I've read that too already. All right. Okay, I did that too. Let me move on down here. You are so very welcome. Okay, I did all that too. All right, here we go. Poetic Hell says, Tanya, okay, I was like, is y'all crazy? Because I know when I said I did that already too. Yes, perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, so I got the individual that's going to explain this part here where I stopped the video. Thank you so much, John, for coming up.
How are you, Natural Beauty?
Yes, I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I am doing good. I am doing very good. I see you working again.
Yes, yes. I just can't stop. People are giving me all these things and they want, to bring it out there and stuff like that. So I was trying to let it go, but more people still want answers and stuff. So I feel like, want to do that. Could you introduce yourself again and kind of let us know and then, go ahead and do what you do. Tell us your
Do what
story.
I do. I'm out of New York, and I cover certain true crime cases when it comes to the investigative angles pertaining to certain cases. Some of the cases that I've covered, Kanika Jenkins 5 years ago, 2017, covered the Orrin and Orson West case, the California City Boys, on my channel, along with Cash Gernon, along with Daniel Robinson, a 25-year-old field geologist who went missing in Buckeye, Arizona last year, now missing 16, going on 17 months.
Wow.
And his dad is out there looking in the Sonoran Desert for his son with little or no assistance from police authorities. And so I came across this particular case. I was asked, when you get your emails flooding you about Shanquella, and it is a very hot topic on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and etc. And it should be, the more exposure and awareness that we have on these cases, we're able to make certain influences when it comes to law enforcement acting on our behalf, the public's behalf, to want to get justice for someone that suffered a major injustice, especially in this particular case. So that's a little bit about where I'm from, what I do. And I truly appreciate you covering the medical aspects of this because of the severity of her injury at the C1, C2 level of the cervical area of the neck. And I wanted to see if I can share with you so people will have a visual, because you're good, especially when you have a visual, because you're a visual person like I am. And I just wanted to share this on your channel. We've covered the death certificate information the last time I was on your channel.
Right.
And we found out there was some very strange things. No signatures, time of death was off. Now we have an investigative reporter that stepped into the narrative, which now changes the timeline in the morning. And then the rest of the narrative follows as to the activities that occurred, who showed up, who did what at certain times. And now we have a different time of death at 5:57 p.m. at night from the 3 o'clock time of death on the death certificate. So this story is starting to take a swing here.
Yeah.
And we're keeping a very careful eye, but I do want to share with you this particular piece of information. I'm sure your audience will be able to appreciate. Let me see here. Yeah, okay, great. So we talked about can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so this was the death certificate that we talked about the last time. I got certain things highlighted on this for folks that have viewed the death certificate. Yeah, this has big questions to it. When you have an autopsy, in this case, a necropsy, which is an autopsy done on an animal, checked off, yes. And then you can't give a description as to whether this was an accident or a violent injury.
Right. Explain that necropsy one more time, because I think it was significant because this other video when she read the definition about the 4 legs.
Right. This more or less applies to a veterinarian pathologist.
Wow.
More so than a medical examiner. So it struck me. I said, well, wait a minute. This can't be a necropsy. I looked it up and I'm going, wait a minute. They didn't have a regular forensic pathologist at the morgue who performed an traditional autopsy, and or toxicology. No one's talking about that. Toxicology will tell us what was in her system during that. Being that time has, been a month now since the time of her death, a lot of this evidence can be taken from the liver, more than the vitreous humor or directly from the blood or urine samples that they could take. In this case now. So hopefully, if they did have an autopsy done before they buried her, a lot of that information is going to come out to tell us if she was drugged, if she had anything in her system. But this is what I wanted to share with you. I didn't mean to get off topic.
Yay. All right.
So here you have a visual, and you can explain this a whole lot better than I can from a medical standpoint, where this cervical area is. And it's the top portion here at the brainstem, where you have C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, all the way down to the up until you get into the thoracic area. And you can take your hand, whether you're righty or lefty, you can take your hand and go behind your head and feel for that thick bone in between your shoulders. And so that's where the cervical area ends. And your thoracic spinal structure begins from that point down. So when we see what we saw on the video, we see this this portion of the video where DJ, I'll just call her DJ for short, grabs her around her neck with both arms. And we see that. And we see a 180-degree twist throw with her hands completely compressed against Shanquella's neck. And you see how hard that throw is, because she's throwing her from the left, let's just say, all the way to the right. So that would be considered 180 degrees across the floor. And then the impact you hear, now this is a marble floor in this villa. And when I heard the impact, I said, well, wait a minute, is that floor made out of wood? Because of the sound of the actual impact. I said, I wouldn't think you would hear that kind of a sound on marble floor, but yet all of the floors are made of marble, which is very solid. And she landed on an area rug. What little support she had, but the impact of 125 pounds of weight, all pinpointed in this very small area. Says to me that injury, that atlas luxation injury, and it doesn't take much for these bones to become dislocated or even severed because they're so small. And as I said, you can feel the back of your neck based on the width of your neck or what your neck size is, how small and very fragile these bones are. And if you take your head and look to the left as far as you can go, you can feel the tension in your neck where you can't go any further. Well, what we saw in the video, there was far more tension that went beyond the point of compression across her neck. And hence you would have the C1, C2 dislocated. And once you dislocate, depending on the severity of the injury, the system begins to crawl through the body and starts to shut down respiratory, starts to shut down motor functions, the hands, arms, legs, breathing, et cetera, et cetera. It's a gradual progression at that point.
And then keep in mind, once it's severed, messages were already in progress, right? So now those messages that were en route, they're going to complete their mission, but no new messages will be able to. It's not, the coordination is instantly stopped. Soon as the injury is there, it's done. And whatever mess signals were already en route, that's it. So yes, you are very correct. And thank you so much for this visual there.
Well, I don't have a medical background, but you get me to do research. I'll start reading everything I can find.
Yeah.
To understand, what I'm looking to find out. And finding this information out based upon certain interviews that were done. I wanted to know the medical findings of this atlas luxation.
Yeah.
That showed up on the death certificate. I said, if I find out more about that and then take another look at the video, I could see exactly, clearly what had occurred during that fight. Because right after she landed, this was the topper for me.
Mm-hmm.
DJ came behind her.
Yep.
And pushed her
right on her head.
Yeah, and pushed her neck 45 degrees forward.
Yes.
And then continued to strike that area with such ferocity.
Yes.
Along with a kick.
Yes, I saw that too.
It doesn't, like I said, when you take another look at it in slow motion.
Yeah.
And you can actually see the impact of how Shanquella's head was moving during the time of each impactive strike.
Yeah, after that, it was just dangling around because she pretty much knocked her head off her body.
Yeah. And, for her to have suffered those kinds of injuries and to obviously shock is the first thing that's going to happen. And shock paralyzes you in a sense. The brain goes, what's going on? I feel hurt. You begin to say, I can't move, the boom. And then you're still being struck at the same time.
Yeah.
Where her defenses started to shut down, to not only try to stop DJ from continuing to hit her, but her physical motions started to diminish quickly after this. Now, how the timeline on the death certificate being 15 minutes after, I think you can talk more about that than I can.
Yeah, the reason why they're giving the 15 minutes is because they know that the lack of oxygen, you're only going to be allowed to live for so long. So 15 minutes to me is pretty generous because usually, we know that after 7 to 10 minutes, you start having the brain damage and everything. So I would believe that after 5 to 6 minutes, she probably went blacked out, and then the rest of it is just everything else dying from lack of oxygen, and that would take the additional 15 minutes to be, not resuscitatable.
Right. And I wanted to ask you also, what do you think of the rest of the story that you've been hearing pertaining to the doctor's arrival and what the doctor tried to do? If what is stated in the death certificate being the 15 minutes between injury and time of death, then it kind of strikes a question in your mind to say, well, what was the doctor doing?
Making up the story. Because
if she had already passed.
She was definitely already passed. We all saw the video. We all saw when the injury happened. And now we know that after receiving that injury, the lifespan is 15 minutes. And if they said that the doctor took an hour to get there, then we already know that, 45 minutes after the life expectancy, that there's no way that the doctor could have come in there or anybody could have come in there and saw any signs of life. She would have already been still and starting to stiffen up. But she would have been, should have been pronounced DOA.
Right. Now, the video also gives us a visual that this altercation took place somewhere in the morning, because we do see some kind of a sun rise, if you will, in the background on the wall. And the time in Cabo, their sun rise is about, I think it's 7:33 sunrise to 6:38, something like that, p.m. for sunset. So if this fight had taken place in the morning and she was awoken from her sleep for this confrontation to take place, you would rightfully say, well, yeah, it appears, just according to the video now, it appears as though that this altercation took place early that morning. So once again, to go back to study the time, and obviously the FBI is
Oh, okay. And you know, they did say that they she was found in another room, so they moved the body. So maybe when they called the doctors that it was more than an hour before, like it had been hours afterwards, because maybe that was them given a time to try to think of a plan.
Right.
And I'm thinking that they just got with maybe one of the people who they were going to bribe, and then they concocted the story about the doctor.
Okay.
And then whoever got that fake certificate from a veterinarian's office or something, because it looked like the procedure was already pre-typed in there, like you just had a box to check. And I was saying before, like sometimes people that work in the doctor's office may have access to, to put hands on a prescription pad or something like that, and they could just write it out. And we saw how they filled out the doctor's information, but no one actually signed it.
Right.
So,
and that troubles me. That troubles me as soon as I laid eyes on it.
Yeah.
And, not to have a doctor sign off to authenticate a death certificate is, red flag number one.
Yeah.
The informant, whoever this Yadira Lisbeth, I know that Shanquella's father had said that he had spoken to a woman on the phone in Cabo by the name of Lisbeth. And so I'm thinking this is her talking to him, making arrangements to have Shanquella's body sent back to the United States.
Wow.
So I'm listening for names. This maid, whoever she is, housekeeping service worker that's now entered the picture, and finding Shanquella in the bedroom, I got questions. I've got some serious questions, because it throws off that 3 o'clock time of death timeline. If she had found her and she was hard to the touch at 12 o'clock.
Right.
So now I got a problem.
Ty Lieber says she was moved a couple of times.
Well, you would think out of the bits and pieces of Nazir finding her in the game room when he got there, they made it to the living room. According to his words, they made it to the living room. We made it to the living room. And I said, you made it to the living room. Was there some kind of a hardship or a struggle to get to the living room? Hey, we walked to the living room. I got. We went to the living room. I got that too. But we made it to the living room.
Right.
That statement bothers me a little bit.
Yeah. Because it's hard to move a body. It's hard. It's more heavy. People don't realize that, it's difficult.
You have dead weight.
Yeah.
And not to literally say, dead weight, but dead weight, heavy weight, depending on, now she's 125 pounds or something like that. So, but so I wanted to share this visual with you so that you would have at least a visual for your audience.
Does this help y'all? So, this is great, because I love, the visual really does make a difference here. I appreciate that. Let's see. I heard the nurse found her in the bathroom.
That's another story, right?
Wow.
But once again, Nazir said that he was told by the friends that she was found by the housekeeper
Yeah.
that she was in the bathroom. Now we got, wait a minute, she's over here in the bathroom, she's over
Right.
here in the bedroom.
Sounds like he was trying to distance himself. You know, I
Yeah,
wasn't there.
isolate himself.
I
Yeah,
was over here. You know.
yeah. I mean, the way it looks to me, I don't think, according to his timeline, because I've been over that,
hmm
that he had any direct, how could I say it? He had anything to do with what happened to Shanquella because he wasn't there.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, up until he showed up and then found out that he had stepped in some crap.
Oh,
You know,
okay, gotcha. Uh-huh.
yeah, because he stated that he didn't show up. He didn't get to the villa until 3:26.
Hmm.
But we have to remember the timeline changes from North Carolina to Cabo, which is a 2-hour difference.
Yeah.
There's a time change there. So if you're traveling from North Carolina into Fort Worth, Texas, that's a 1-hour difference because it's Central Time. And then you go from Fort Worth, Texas, his flight though, to Cabo, it's another hour because it's Mountain Time.
Oh, goodness.
So yeah, there's a 2-hour time difference. So his 3:26 now comes to about 1:26 or around 1:30
Hmm.
getting to the airport. It took him an hour to get to the villa. That puts it closer to a 2:30 timeline. So now he's there before 3,
Wow.
you see. So yeah, I'm doing my little, pieces and connecting the dots and everything. And
Great, 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 great. Well, we dropped your channel down here in the chat, and so if you guys really want to get some real good technical information, he's done a lot of research, and also, we were speaking about this Janika. I'm so sorry. What's the name of the young lady that we were trying to talk about? You did the research on her. I'm so tired.
on well, you've been working. You've been putting in some time on this, so we appreciate it.
Tanika Jenkins, that young lady.
Kanika Jenkins,
Yeah,
right,
Tanika Jenkins. Thank you so much. Please,
right,
do
right.
But,
19-year-old.
yeah, we want to keep talking. We want to get justice for all those ones. We don't want this to just be another cold case, and so that's why we're still talking about it. But I think we need to dig up the ones from the past and bring those forward too. Because it's important too that they all deserve, to the situation to be looked at.
Yeah, but according to Miss Ty Libra, yeah,
Mhm.
the death certificate is a mess. I think
Yeah.
it plays a very important part for the officials to really investigate that document because it's critical that we have an accurate time of death.
Yeah.
Even though the injuries may stand from a broken neck and a cracked back,
Mhm.
that we do see on the video to a
Yeah.
degree. We see a twisting of a neck and then the slamming down on the floor on the tailbone,
Right.
which is
And
also
the bow of
sensitive.
the back. We saw her
Yeah,
back bow out and her neck and head continue to get attacked so
yeah,
viciously.
yeah. Oh, it put a lot of
Mhm.
downward, violent pressure
Yeah.
against her head and body in a
Yeah.
short period of time because the video is only 20 seconds. It's
Yeah,
that kind of
exactly.
an attack. Yeah.
Wow. She didn't have a chance at all.
Yeah.
That
And
is
then we also see another individual over to the right in the video, actually recording the video. So for me to believe that there's a
yeah.
second video, I would believe that. I would believe that. Is that video longer? Did it capture anything in addition to what happened to Shanquella
Mhm.
after the primary video shut off? So there's going
Yeah.
to be evidence on that phone, which I'm sure the FBI, once they complete their forensics of the phone,
Mhm.
messages, phone calls, pictures, videos, everything, that's going to really tie in to helping the Mexican government. They probably did it themselves. Um, Capture this information to draw a finer conclusion as to why all this happened to begin with.
Mm.
you know, because we still don't know what was the fight about.
True. I don't even think anybody's even asked that, or even anybody's even talking about it. We're so caught up with the whole this gender questioning the gender. That has been coming up so many times. It's like almost on every one of these lives, the gender is in question.
Yeah, what was this fight about? You know, because it does prove intent. I mean, she went in Shanquella's room with, you know, the group, at least the three that was with her there.
Right.
So it does show some kind of intent, malicious intent, to get her out of bed. And we don't know the condition that Shanquella was in because of the party or the night before. They were doing a lot of drinking. They were doing push-ups. They were, you know, having a good time. So we don't know, you know, for how long and when they went to sleep up until we come to that morning portion of that video where the assault had taken place.
Yeah, the middle of the night, almost early morning, you would think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it does make you feel in some way, shape, or form that there was talk that created intent, that created an action to confront Shanquella at that time.
Yes.
So they got some problems. You know, one thing, DJ is in a box because she is the aggressor in the video.
Right. Yeah.
The other three people that are standing there doing video recordings and, oh, why don't you hit back, and, you know, aggravating and agitating the situation rather than stopping it,
right,
are also culpable, you know, for what happened to Shanquella as well.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I'm going to jump down. Thank you so much for having me back.
Yes, anytime.
I love your channel. I love your show. I love the direct and specific talk and information you cover, especially on this case too. So
thank you so much.
You got a new friend from New York.
All right, thank you, new friend from New York. All right, John, we'll see you later. All right, y'all. I'm about worn out too. It's like 1:43 in the morning here, and I wasn't going to come up here tonight, but like I said, all this new information and people are sending the information to me. It's just, you know, touching me to feel like I want to just continue to just give more and, you know, continue to grow this community. I'm loving the support. I appreciate all of the love and support y'all been showing me. And I look forward to seeing y'all in another video tomorrow. So, and again, Ty Lieber, you are the greatest. Thank you so much for all of your hard work and just coming in, you know, right on the spot, you know, right on time too for everything. And I sure appreciate everybody for staying up with me and, you know, for this impromptu live. And love y'all and see y'all later. Peace and love. Bye.